Hi, good morning, applicant. This is your HR Mark, and I am here to give you a quick advices on how you are going to pass your interview. Now, let's work on a debug with a reading practice. There is a specific portion of the interview where you are going to read a specific phrase or paragraph. Now, I want you to pass this this interview so that you could proceed with doing the new teachers training. Now, let's work on and debug these sentences. Okay, let me just read it for you first. Okay, now in reading this, I want you to read it slowly, not very fast, so that there would be an emphasis of the word. For example, let me just read it. The local zoo had recently opened three new butterfly gardens that everyone was talking about. Sophia imagined herself walking through the colorful exhibit, watching hundreds of butterflies flutter around beautiful flowers. She could pack a small lunch and make it a perfect afternoon adventure. The admission was affordable and she could even take the bus there. Plus, the weather forecast showed sunny skies for the weekend. Sophia smiled at as she realized that sometimes the best adventure were right in your own backyard. She grabbed her jacket and headed toward the door, excited about her spontaneous zoo visit. Now let's debug some of the mistakes that you might be going to during the interview. The TH sound. The TH sound should be pronounced like there is a vibration on your throat. The, the, the. Okay? You have to put emphasis on that. Okay? The, that, those, there. They are also going to listen about that. Okay? Now, the, those, and that. You have to say it slowly, but you have to pronounce it correctly. Now, the next word that we might have is the ed. You have to pronounce it correctly. It's not just like open. Sometimes we do it in a short way, open, but we tend to forget to that there is a sound of the at the end. Open, okay? Open. Three new butterflies, gardens that everyone was talking about. Now the PH sound, Sophia. The PH sound makes the sound of the letter F. Okay? It should be. Sometimes we mispronounce the P and F. We interchange them together. We make the F sound like P and P sound like F. For an example, papaya, perfume. Instead, we have to say papaya, perfume. But also, you have to remember that the PH sound makes the sound of the letter F. There is a difference between the P and F. Pa, pa, and F, right? So, Sophia herself imagined, okay, the ED again. Remember the ED, okay? Imagined herself walking through the colorful exhibit. This is exhibit, not exhibit, but exhibit. Okay, the EX should be pronounced as exhibit, not exhibit. Okay, you should say it ex exhibit. No, it's correct, but the correct pronunciation of that is exhibit. Eggs, EGS. Now, watching hundreds of butterflies around beautiful flowers. She could pack a small lunch and make it up, and she could pack the letter P. You have to pronounce it correctly. Again, sometimes you might pronounce it as F, but it should be pronounced as P. She could pack a small lunch and make it a perfect afternoon adventure. Now, I always wanted to make emphasis on how you are going to read it correctly in a correct manner. So the admission was affordable, and she could even take the bus there. Plus, the weather forecast showed sunny skies for the weekend. Sophia smiled as she realized that sometimes the best adventure were right on in your own backyard. She grabbed her jacket and headed toward the door, excited about her spontaneous zoo visit. Now, I want to read it again, and I hope you could go on and keep on practicing doing this. Okay, so this is one of the interview tip that I could have, I would share with you. Now, this is the form, the applicant interview schedule form that we are sending to everyone. As we can see, we have two responses now. Now, the time schedule comes from 10 o'clock Mondays, 9 p.m. to this is the time schedule. And right now you are in the interview phase. So we are going to schedule an interview with you. So you have to go to our location, to our office to have the interview. And then don't worry about this because this is just a virtual interview and you don't need to worry about this one. So the next step, if you pass the interview, you are going to have uh, the pre-service orientation. We are going right after that. I am sure that you will pass this interview and pre-service orientation. We are going to skip the technical check. And then we will be proceeding with the new teachers training that is a 4 hours training. And then on, we will send you another video tips on how to do the teaching demo and so that you can pass. And then after you passed, you are going to send your documents and you will start teaching. Okay. So that is the process. So in the meantime, please fill out this form that we are going to uh, have so that we could schedule your interview right away. And then we are going to send you a message when and where can you have when are you going to have your interview? We will shoot you a message. And then also you have to prepare your documents such as NBI and one NBI, the latest NBI, and also any of the government IDs that is listed here. And then you also have to bring any of the following diploma, TOR, certificate of graduations. Now let's have another walkthrough on um, reading phase of uh, the interview. Now, please try to remember to put emphasis on the TH, PH, ED, T, F, and EX. Okay, so I'm going to read it slowly. Again, during the interview, please read it slowly so that your pronunciation would be uh would have some emphasis. I will read it slowly. If you want to practice together with me, you can also go with. Okay. The local zoo had recently opened three new butterfly gardens that everyone was talking about. Sophia imagined herself walking through the colorful exhibit, watching hundreds of butterflies flutter around beautiful flowers. She could pack a small lunch and make it a perfect afternoon adventure. The admission was affordable, and she could even take the bus there. Plus, the weather forecast showed sunny skies for the weekend. Sophia smiled as she realized that sometimes the best adventures were right in your own backyard. She grabbed her jacket and headed toward the door, excited about her spontaneous zoo visit. So that ends the interview tip that I'm going to share with you, and I hope you would apply this one as you have your interview soon. Right? So if you have some comments, you are free to give a comment on this YouTube page. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. Bye. God bless.